Aster.Aries draft?
It's something that they've really liked to do, so I'm just going to back them for it, basically. Like, you're clearly just picking the Ricky most in both competitive and pubs on Shangse, so I think you've just got to go with what you think is going to work for you. They've clearly been scrimming it. I'm going to believe in it until I see it go horribly wrong. And, you know, the game that they played it against Xtreme Gaming, they were in a winning position off the back of it, so yeah. I haven't really seen it be in that really bad situation just yet.
Okay. I have to see if he's going to be able to get off to a good start. I agree completely with the point that you brought up earlier, like the 10 to 25 minutes for them should feel pretty strong, especially with the... I think a combo that I've always liked in the past is like a Nyx Assassin Storm Spirit, just the Nyx being able to scout out for the Storm to zip and get these pickoffs. I feel like the Ricky is going to be able to provide, have a very similar role to what the Nyx can. So there is a lot of kill potential. You're even going to have Mercy on the Dark Willow that can be pretty active here. We'll be very reliant on some of the experience, but we shall see. I do think we're probably going to get a lot of pickoffs through the early stage of this game once the lanes do start to dissolve.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to need to really be on point with a lot of your sentry coverage. The different thing that you just mentioned, right, the Nyx Assassin being used as like a scouting tool for the Storm Spirit, this is a core Ricky as well. So you can't be just roaming around the map hoping that you run into someone eventually, because he's going to punish you. Like, you're going to fall too far behind in net worth if that's going to be the case. So it's really just going to rely on like getting some good observer sentry coverage to make sure that that's not the case, that you are actually able to dodge out a lot of those Ricky movements so that he is really suffering off the back of trying to find pickoffs for Storm.
Fish King's not really winning this trade. In fact, he's probably going to go down as a result of... I think he can go for that exchange. Zhang Yu's going to step in and actually... Yeah, so yeah, you get a little bit of a reward there with the ferry getting used.
Red Panda's not exactly the healthiest either, though.
That is true. That is true.
Still 30 seconds left on the Fire Spirits to be used once again, so maybe this is the time for Fish King to be getting a little bit more active. Both camps going to be blocked up for now, so much more trading lane, at least for this first little bit. Oh, do you ever get Terrorblades that just don't skill Reflection? I'm like, bro, just 1 point, please. It's so good.
So value. Reflection is 35 mana? What?
1 point. That's all I asked.
Red Panda? Oh no, Red Panda.
Yeah, that's the thing with a Phoenix, right? It is that big roller coaster of strength. Incredibly strong when you've got the Fiery Spirits available, and incredibly weak when you don't.
And even just, I feel like level 3 is such a huge spike in your prowess inside the lane. So already off to a good start top, and I feel like definitely mid lane. I know it's 6-1 at the moment, but we're already seeing Butterfly Effect being able to play on XYW's side of the hill. So, you know, it should be Alina favored mid. What our bottom's going to go? I mean, I feel like this should be a free lane for Ukyo. I cannot imagine they're really going to be able to put any pressure onto the Gyrocopter.
No, but I think the important thing is just making sure that you get onto the level 6 on both the Ricky and the Dark Willow. That's really what you're playing for here. And you got to say that Shangse has been doing a pretty good job of just getting the farm. He's top of the net worth right now. I know it's only 2 minutes in, but he really isn't suffering at all in this lane either.
You've been burned.
Always will have the tricks if he wants to use it to be able to dodge the missile. Be a nice thing here for Shangse. Do we feel like there needs to be an importance on supports rotating to try and secure some of the runes, whether the water rune and the power runes this game?
I mean, of course, it's always important, especially I would say for XWY, considering how poorly any sort of Lina matchup goes, right? Like, you're always going to be losing this matchup. Lina is just as strong as ever with all that. Is she wearing like a party hat? I guess it is the anniversary.
I guess so. Maybe.
It's a little weird.
I forgot how to inspect them. I worked it out before I went on holiday, and now I forgot.
Did you actually? Oh my god! Holding back stuff from me.
Oh no, I forgot now though. So I'm not like. I swear I'm not holding anything back. Actually, do I remember? Never mind. I don't remember. I want to see what that party hat is though.
It has to just be an anniversary cosmetic. Maybe one person every game gets it. Although Mars has it as well.
Really? He does too.
Have they played a pub since since the patch drop?
Maybe, I guess. Oh, thank you. Thank you, production. I appreciate it. Top lane.
I don't think
awesome. I'll cover you back. Oh, that's all right. I thought there was going to have a kill. I had you back there, but no, not the case. Yeah, it doesn't show in the showcase.
It must just be if you've won a game today or something like that.
Yeah, potentially. Got to get those treasures up, brother. That's some free chests right there. Free cosmetics. Can never say no. What's going on? Ponyo and Mercy? All right, nice deny. No bounty for you, my friend. Meanwhile, LSA connects mid and Butterfly Effect gets a solo kill. So, this is going to start to get kind of out of control, especially with the level 6 coming up shortly for the Lina. So, you will need to bring out a little bit more mana for you to have some kill potential.
Tipping Mercy as well. Just saying, you showed up a little bit late to the lane, brother. We'll be able to deny that water rune as well. So, you know, using the Shadow Realm to its fullest potential. It's for the attack range bonus, but where does Storm go now? Does he go to lane at all? And are you just trying to soak up a little bit of this experience on the Dark Willow? Because again, Ricky really isn't going to have that much difficulty in this lane, right? Like he's full HP, he's farming underneath his tower, he's going to have his power treads soonish, and an IO doesn't provide a lot of kill threat. Even the gyro, right? You could rocket barrage, you could homing missile, and he's just going to be able to trigger the trade every single time.
Yeah, no, I really feel like there's no reason for Mercy to be down bottom. Like, they've done a pretty good job with keeping the creep equilibrium towards Dai's half of this lane. So, yeah, Ricky's going to be chilling. And we all know Dark Wheel is kind of a support that really relies on having experience as well. So, I would much prefer her to play around mid than bottom at the moment.
Have they both blocked up this hard camp? What's going on here?
Yeah, they have.
They're like, all right, cool, keep it there.
So I do want to, again, we're going to see actually Ukyo, it's going to be a crit sick first. We saw...
I'm just looking at Fish King. He's scouting out XWY here, farming inside the jungle, just sapping a bit of his experience by standing nearby. He's yoking the farm.
Oh, he got it?
Well.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they know that they've got farm. They're going to ward the high ground, and it's not going to be there as well. Oh, no. What a horrible start for the Storm Spirit to have. Even going to be yoinking away the bounty rune as well.
We're even going to be giving kills over to Butterfly Effect. No hesitation with the Laguna Blade. Somebody get a kill. Clarity and Arcane's coming up shortly, so he should be able to fill up his mana. Even got a bottle as well. Sorry, even got a bounty to work with. So that's enough about that, though. Top lane, I mean, Ulu's off to a great start, too. I mean, second in net worth has got about a 500 difference compared to the Mars. So, you know, Ulu, what are we... Overall, do we think this is a game where the Terrorblade is going to be able to put the team on his back, considering kind of the rougher start that the Storms had?
Possibly, but I mean, the big thing that really changes this up for me is how good of a game Butterfly Effect is having, right? He is the one that's going to be stopping a lot of that threat coming through. Like you predicted, they are going to be going into the Yule Scepter on this Lina just for setup for Light Strike Array on any sort of target. Obviously, the easiest one to do it on is the Storm. It doesn't even need to be the Lina that follows up with the stun, right? You can use the Mars. I mean, we've seen iG.op back in the day be the one that liked to run that combination from the Mars in the off lane. Well, you could just yours and let the Mars do the follow-up for you.
That's an old name right there. iG.op. There are some classic names in the China region. Ferrari, Burning. So the old guns back in the day. MMY, yep. Banana. As
How?
Yes, there's a lot. Unfortunately, some of them
like
are even
2- and 3-letter names in China, I gotta say. You know?
Yeah.
They just seem to be everywhere.
Yeah, they do indeed. It's kind of makes it easy as a commentator, I'm not gonna lie. Long names. But I don't really like the couple of letters like XWY. I preferred his Yi. Ponyo inside the river. And die as soon as the power runes up. So pretty nice. Never mind. Ponyo really took up to the spirit. What? All right, Shang Tsung's here to be able to get the cleanup. Butterfly Effect's in a little bit of danger as well. They're going to be forced to tip him in the Mars, but the Supernova, it's 8 minutes in, dude. How is he 6 already? Red Panda getting...
Oh.
No, yeah, well, I don't know, dude. That's a crazy level 6 timing. He uses that straight away to their advantage. I mean, that is a huge kill.
That's a huge kill, not just for obviously being able to kill the Lina, but in enabling the Terrorblade as well, right? It forced a couple of rotations from the Snapfire. He just walked to that lane to try and save, but it means that the TB was freed up to be able to do some damage into the tower. And of course, if you're slowing down the Lina, the main source of magic damage on iG.Vitality, it's just going to make the TB's game so much easier. Gotta say though, playing a very nice game once again on Shang-Tse on his Riki 3rd place in the net worth, and he's building into the Diffusal as well. So he's primed to basically hit that at a similar sort of timing as Mercy hitting his level 6 right now, soaking up a lot of that farm in the mid lane, just making sure he's able to get that XP most importantly.
So I do want to speak a little bit more about the Gyro, because I feel like this is a hero that we're going to see a lot, and a hero that has a lot of potential to have some different builds. I think on day one, Monet on his Gyro didn't even level up the Rocket Barrage. He put a lot more emphasis on attributes. He also rushed the Scepter, and we spoke about yesterday, of course, one of the old builds from Gyro was the potential just to rush the Daedalus. I think that's even more possible now with the rush the Crystallis. I think that's even more possible now with it being reduced cooldown, reduced gold. I do want to say though, some of the old builds versus the Terrorblade, you would consider something like a Mjolnir. It did get nerfed with your way to deal with the illusions. Do you even think this needs to be a consideration for Ukyo, considering you have the Lina to maybe deal with the Terrorblade?
Yeah, I'm thinking the Lina was going to be the case, and I was wondering even if it's going to be Butterfly Effect, kind of trying to have it like a little bit both ways, you know? Like he's going to go the Yules, he might go an Aether Lens as well, but I really wouldn't hate seeing him go on Maelstrom, because even though obviously the Lina isn't that busted form that it used to be, position 1 Lina with the Maelstrom, it still feels very good for this game. You just got to make sure that you're not dying to be able to start things off.
So when you bring up the Maelstrom, are you wanting more of a right-click build as a whole, or...?
I think it just needs to be like a TB illusion dealer, basically, especially with the big buffs to the Maelstrom damage against these sorts of illusions.
Okay. Well, just to quickly sing the praises. Mercy, that was a nice deny on the tier 1 tower mid, so gets a bit of a snipe there. All right, we'll see what they're going to be able to do with it as well, because this is pretty important timing where Radiant, they're going to look to try and force the issue here. You've got the Rina to work with, you've got the Kisses to work with, so honestly, both sides are wanting a fight. Really, the catalyst is the supports levels. You have that now up. It's much easier for Radiant because of this mid lane getting shoved out, so they have the potential to make plays across the map. It's instantly going to be dealt with from XWY. He might even look to deal with the next wave, although it won't be needed because it's a... Yeah.
XWY. I mean, you don't need to play with the Riki. It's just having the potential to play with multiple different cores. And honestly, with Riki being down here on the bottom side, he's got the Diffusal Blade picked up as well. And they know where this Gyro and Io are looking to farm. So it's really just the case of scouting. They're going to be able to get away through the Twin Gate. They do have vision, though, on Aster.Aries. They know that they've come up here, Red Panda, with a great Observer Ward to be able to pick this one out. They know that a fight's coming. They're just waiting for them, I believe. Like, they're waiting for Ponyo to not be up on that high ground before they use the Twin Gate, so he doesn't actually know this is coming.
That's a huge kill to be able to start. They might not get anything more out of it, though, but it is still nonetheless 4 heroes from ITV up top, so Butterfly Effect's going to TP mid. And you still have the Storm Spirit also getting a little bit of catch-up farm down bottom as well. A bit of an interesting build from, yeah, with a doubt, which he needs. Butterfly Effect's going to go into the Lincoln second item. What do we make of this?
Honestly, I don't know.
I have no idea why.
It really just feels like it's just to stop himself from being caught out by a Storm Jump with a Bedlam, I guess. I mean, it's all about his survivability, right? But I would have thought that something like a BKB would be just so much more versatile, being able to not have to deal with the reflection, not having to deal with the electric vortex again, no Bedlam damage, lots of things rather than just the initial pickoff, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm very intrigued on the decision behind the Lincolns. I mean, he might change it up in the end. They have another smoke though, iG.Vitality.
Maybe if it was the old Ricky Shard, I would understand, but not the case anymore.
Oh, the Bramble is even better. Simultaneously with the jump from Shang-Tse is going to be able to get on top of the Lina, so they'll push Butterfly Effect away, and they're going to be able to get a double kill as a result. And this is the combo we saw yesterday. Mercy and Shang-Tse with the Riki and the Dark Willow. With that change to the Bedlam, these two have a ridiculous amount of damage.
Should have had the Lincolns, would have saved him. I guess the Blink Strike is kind of nice as well, but I mean, you've got two, right? So you can just do it back to back.
Trying to see what the build was yesterday from Somnus. He went Aethelens, Scepter, E-Blade, Dagon. I don't know when the shard was picked up. It's not telling me on Dota Buff, but I have to imagine it was around kind of the second, third item timing. And of course, Somnus went 18, 5, and 5.
I love Somnus. He fed a few times in that game, like just way out of position on this Lina. So I think they're going to be happy on Azure Ray to be able to get those cobwebs out and squeeze by, basically, in that first series of their upper bracket run. It's that second round that's really looking spicy, though. Taking on IG next.
Once again, another fight. Oh, no hesitation. Jungyu trying to jump in the river and take away the room. They commit the kisses. This is just a Dark Willow that they... guys? Arena and kisses, you don't even kill it. He's going to go for it. Yeah, all right. They'll get it in the end, but... like... don't you just run down mid or something now? You're gonna have Meta up. I'd love to see them try and force a fight around mid, Ulo to join, and with Meta maybe get a kill and then convert into the tower. Arena and no kisses. This is a big opening for you to get some map control.
It is, but the lanes aren't exactly in the best position, right? Other than bot, but no one's really all grouped around that bot side. It's only the Riki right now. They're looking to make a bit of a move towards top, maybe feeling like that's obviously a much closer connection through no tier 1 tower bottom to be able to claim. But I don't know, without Ulu there, I really feel like you're going to be lacking the damage. Playing with an Io who's got a mech, and yeah, I feel like a lot of these movements coming out from Aster.Aries is inconsequential.
Seeming like it might be a little bit too...
well by Fish King, just to scout out any sort of backstabs coming through from the Riki.
They're coming.
Oh lord, they're coming.
Fast enough. Showing you off to the right side. Nice jump once again onto the Lina. Butterfly Effect tries to get the jump away, but it's not going to matter with XWA into the middle. They've got the Supernova as well, and Chaos will break out, but it's going to favor Aster.Aries. Snapfire puts his body on the line to at least deal with the egg. I mean, he was going to die nonetheless, but it is still a 4-for-1 in exchange. Aster.Aries, like we said, no arena, no kisses. A very favorable fight for them. Ulu gets involved, and they're going to be able to get themselves a reward of a tier 1 tower as well off the back of the meta.
I mean, then they timed that perfectly as well. I mean, the arena came up just as that team fight was like midway, and by that point it was done already. You know, you had a great amount of vision being provided by Mercy with that observer ward being dropped. I believe it's just under the sentry range, but it was as the initiation was happening. So, you know, XWY, great jump in to be able to start things off, as you know, someone needs to...
Is this not fixed yet? What
no,
is...
I feel like it should be like a 1 second buffer, you know?
I don't know how this is not fixed yet, but anyway. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just... do we feel like this Lina pick is like catching them off guard with how much the Riki's able to do? I mean, this is... I feel like Shang Tsu's like decision making in these fights to only go for Butterfly Effect has been perfect. We've seen no involvement in the Lina in these past two skirmishes, and is this kind of... yeah, they're kicking themselves with this Lina pick now?
I guess so. I mean, I think, what's he going for next? He's going for the Boots of Travel. I'm not sure if that's going to cut it, you know? Like, he needs more defensive items, and it could just be a 4-staff, because the thing coming through for Shang Tsu, is it coming on the Korean now? Yeah, he's got the shard, so you won't be able to, like, 4-staff him out of that cloud as well, and you'll absolutely be able to burst him down. So he needs some sort of save potential for himself. Like, your Scepter will save you for 2.5 seconds, but the cloud lasts longer than that.
So, I mean, yeah. I mean, you brought up the 4-stars, so I guess that even involves the cookie as well for the Snapfire. So,
yep.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of some of the supports as well, we brought up how important it is for the DICE supports to get levels. Dude, Red Panda is level 11. Higher than the Gyro and the Mars, same level as the Storm and the Lina. That is incredible. Not only that, but has a lot of gold as well. And we see this is a hero that can really use gold to incredible value. I mean, I think the person in particular, when you look at kind of the Phoenix support players, is Cowrie, and how he just kind of rushes the Hex on his support Phoenix. So he's got the Aghanim Shard queued up. Hopefully for him, he's going to get the Shard from the Tormentor, which can kind of free that up to then be a potential Hex if he wants it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's even some... could consider something
I think
like
there's value in him just picking it up, right? Because then it's more likely to go over to a Dark Willow or to a Storm Spirit. I mean, there's no bad shards on Aster.Aries this game.
I agree. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense then. Yeah. So I mean, this is one thing. I mean, as we go later in this game, you got to really, you have to take the supports into consideration now, because even Dark Willow, imagine 2 points in the Bedlam at an early stage with a Storm Spirit in or a Ricky in as well. Like, this is a stupid amount of burst potential, and currently we are not seeing this this IO lineup really come into play. Like, what we've known from IO lineups is that you can open up the map and then you can start to suffocate the enemy team with just your potential of the +2 and getting relocate kills, and we have not seen that come into play once this game.
Gotta say, though, we did say this was the strong point coming through from Aster.Aries, right? We said 10 to 25 minutes. If they're not just absolutely crushing the early mid game, it would look pretty rough for them. And Gyro, he's only 300 gold away from picking up his Axe, so that's going to pick up his farming speed. He's already got the Crystallis. He's going into a BKB next. Probably going to go Satanic after that. Maybe Butterfly, but we'll see. But, there's a lot more survivability coming through from him. You're obviously going to have the Lina. Maybe it's going to take another fight to lead Butterfly Effect to not go into the Boots of Travel and into something like that BKB or 4-staff or whatever it might be for himself, because he really just needs to enable his survivability a whole lot more. And, well, they were actually pinging out a few things towards this top side as well on iG.Vitality. It feels to me like they're ready for a smoke, kind of similar to what we saw come through from Aster.Aries previously. They recognized that there was no kisses, no arena, but now basically there's no Supernova, there's no Metamorphosis. It's time for them to make a play. Of course, the relocate available, so Gyro and Io can continue farming up. Maybe they put a little bit of pressure on mid, but it seems like they're backing up. I mean, there's no tier 1 tower to be able to play around with, so a bit of an odd space to be able to move through to. Seems like
it does look like
he's going to Ghost Scepter.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. So what do we make of the Ghost Scepter decision now?
It's fine to me. It might need to speed up what they're looking to go for with Shang Tsung. Like, as soon as he sees that picked up, he's going to switch up this Manta build and just go straight Nullifier, because he knows that it's going to be a great way to be able to counter it out.
So, and I guess another thing with the Ghost Scepter is that you do eventually want to build into the E-Blade. So at least there's maybe some extra value of that instead of going for another item. I mean, I feel like you're going to want BKB nonetheless, and I still don't really think this is too bad of a 4-staff game, but you might just not have too much damage. He does have the Eye of the Vizier, so that with the 8th Lens could be nice. I mean, you kind of want Ponyo to potentially help out with some of your mana issues, but at the moment, this game's starting to slow down a little bit.
We talk about the impacts of some of these shards. I mean, we got pretty good shards on iG.Vitality's side as well. So I'm wondering how quickly they're going to be looking to move towards their Tormentor as soon as that 20-minute mark is up. I mean, with the change to the Laguna Blade providing the supercharge, it just basically makes her abilities deal 200 more damage.
Speaking of the Lina, just look at the damage they're able to do between these two heroes. There's nothing the Snapfire is going to be able to do. Just watches off for the side lanes to even try and relocate into the middle, because it's going to be up to the Mars to try and counter-initiate or catch up the Storm, and with the artillery getting raid down, they're going to be able to return fire, but still it leaves the Snapfire vulnerable, as Shang Tsung is going to be able to get a return kill, and now Zhang Yu as well is caught out of position. It'll be so much that he will not be able to handle. Red Panda level 12, 2 points up the Supernova. He did in fact buy out for the shard, so even though you lost XWY, it did not matter in the end. Aster.Aries find a 3-for-1, and now a tier 1 tower mid as well.
With an Arcane Rune as well on Ulu, so even if he does choose to pop the meta, it's not going to be on cooldown for anywhere near as long as it normally would. Right now, he's just conjuring as many images as he can to be able to take it out without even needing to use that huge tool. And I wonder if they're even going to consider doing Roshan. Just setting up for Ukyo as well? We'll see. Will he use the meta right at the very end of it? He does. Just wanting to get maximum value out of it. They are on the hunt. They'll take Ponyo. Obviously, they would have loved the gyrocopter, but this is the sort of thing where you just want a quick pick off into that next objective. And without an IO, you feel a whole lot weaker on this gyrocopter, who, like you mentioned, has fallen a little bit behind in terms of the levels.
Oh, it's going to go down so fast with the Ricky backstab too. This is... Do you give it to the Storm Spirit?
I think
right.
so.
I mean,
Just because, like, you're not ready to go high ground yet. So I don't think there's too much value in Ulu picking it up.
Immortality is mine.
6,000 net worth lead.
I mean, Butterfly Effect went back for the bots. So clearly they're just trying to, like, rat this map out somehow, but you really don't have the heroes to be able to do it, right? Like Ponyo and Ukyo, maybe, just because you could relocate yourselves out in a pinch, but Lina, squishy as hell. Snapfire, squishy as hell with terrible mobility. Mars, maybe, but not until he picks up that BKB. I mean, that's going to be the big thing, right? If you're able to, on Shangyu, get into that BKB for yourself, you can look to play pretty deep, and if they look to rotate multiple people for you, just BKB TP out. Right now, you're playing for your Gyro and Lina, and you're playing to avoid this Aegis timing that Aster.Aries have.
I don't know if this, I'm sure is not something in the back of IGV's mind, but something, at least for me, is that, again, Aster.Aries, they've had a lot of difficulties with being able to close out games, especially in the Division 1 tours that they've been involved in, and even in that second game versus Xtreme. And I mean, even the first game, right, with the Ricky, they had a bit of a lead, so...
Okay, never mind. I'm in agreement with you as well. I think they really need to start trying to put it together a little bit more as... Oh, they will avoid the Mars somehow. I mean, he's playing where he needs to be, right? Behind enemy lines, just picking up a lot of this cheap farm, let's call it. And he's probably going to look to cut the 21.5-minute wave just to be able to, again, slow things down a little bit. They'll still get a tower, and they'll still be in a position to be even yoink away that Wisdom Rune if they go up and check it now, which they will.
Do you relocate for this? Yeah, Ponyo's going to do it, okay. Ricky's going to TP in. Ooh, alright, well, Ponyo's dead.
Tormentor as well. Easy money.
It's going to be 2 Tormentors probably in the end of it all, and you spoke about how... Oh, please don't die.
You'll be fine.
Very close. There we go. XWY is going to be able to get the Aghanim Shard now for him to work with. And now it's going to be either the Dark Willow or the Terrorblade. Very interesting. What do you make of this new kind of Terrorblade Shard?
I think it's nice just to not feel completely useless when you don't have meta. So Demon Zeal just being on that much longer cooldown, but much longer duration, basically provides you a little bit of that like interim tool. So yeah, I like it. Nothing's ever as bad as the Disruptor Shard, even still.
That is true. That is a pretty abysmal shard. They're actually going to try and take a fight on IGV. Okay, so the Ricky's still separated from the team. Aegis in the hands for another 2 minutes. Oh, that's not the arena they're hoping for. The XWY is going to be able to get on top of Butterfly Effect and look at the damage they can pump out. No Lina to work with, and soon everyone else is going to be sent to the grave. Ukyo, it's an all-out retreat off the back of the BKB. Then meanwhile over to the left side, up into the triangle. They're going to be able to catch out Zhang Yu as well. Red Panda. An exceptional game out of the Phoenix. Another solo Supernova for some of the kills. And, I mean, yeah, even hunting Shang Tse. Able to get Ukyo.
He's underneath wards right now, though, so, I mean, not like it really matters, though. Still got this Metamorphosis for a little bit. Going to be forced to pop that tier 2 glyph as well. Should still, probably not take out the tower, but be enough to be able to get it low-ish. XWY just pushing in multiple lanes at once as well, so it's not the easy answer, and I feel like you've just gone way too greedy on Butterfly Effect. Yeah, Yule Scepter, Aetherlands, Boots of Travel, that provides you nothing in terms of survivability and sustain. Like a Yule Scepter really, it's nothing in the grand scheme of things, right? You've still got 1300 HP at 24 minutes into the game. Nowhere near enough.
Yeah, it had to get you kills in the early game and kind of help out with your farming with that mana regen, but it wasn't able to do that at all for Butterfly Effect. So you're not really going to have this Lina 2 kind of needs a snowball from what we've seen in the past with the Magic build, and now you're going to be potentially down a couple of extra members as well off the back of the smoke from Aster.Aries. IGV will get back to maybe the safety of their T2 tower, but as soon as they poke out like Butterfly Effect is doing,
yeah, it's a risky place to be in for sure. I mean, Storm still got 30 seconds on that Aegis, so I feel like he feels very comfortable to go for a dive in with his double damage to be able to force out. If there's anyone that's going to carry this game for them, it's Ukyo, right? It's still a pretty decent gyro game. You've got ways to avoid it for sure. Just being stuck in the tricks, stuck in the Supernova, TB, of course, extremely high armor. Storm can just zip away. Willa can get in the Shadow Realm. So maybe actually he can't. Maybe he's just going to do no damage inside of a lot of these flak cannons.
I have to pull off something crazy if that's going to be the case for Ukyo, but at least now with the camp, we have enough gold for the Daedalus. You do have a fresh Skadi though. Plus, it's quite a Skadi game, minimizing some of the sustain from Ponyo. You're up against double range cores in the Lina and Gyro. A lot of extra value.
And I mean, you could nerf illusion heroes all you want. Naga and TB are still going to do exactly what we're seeing on the bottom side. Just cut waves without having any risk to your actual hero. And it means that, you know, you're losing a lot of gold off the back of a creep wave being hit under the tower. It also means that the tower is taking damage. It potentially forces a rotation to open up another side of the map. Illusions are always going to be strong in some capacity. Fly Effect just begging for any sort of stats. 50 gold away from an ultimate orb would be a nice start. Snapfire going for an E-Blade herself, and well, that's optimistic for sure.
Yeah.
Considering the position that the game is currently in.
It's just, I mean, you gave it pretty perfect timing. We were what, 10 to 25, 10 to 20. And if you're able to accumulate such a net worth lead, then that timing is going to be able to continue with the enemy team not really being able to play the map. And we're seeing that be the case. You're just huddled together as four. And you've always got issues with these illusions. So Ukyo's going to show himself down bottom. It does really seem like maybe this game's going to continue to slow down until this next Roche, which a potential for it to be up in a minute.
The thing is, though, they can still just go on Aster.Aries, right? Like, they've reached really big peaks in their timings. Maybe just Storm wants this next wave. He wants his level 18, but he's got a BKB to be able to play around with. You've got level 15 on Red Panda, so it just takes so much to come. I mean, just compare the survivability of this Phoenix versus what the Lina has, right? Like, nearly double her HP. You've also got movement spells. You've also got a Supernova that allows you to, you know, just protect yourself, and a Glimmer Cape. Like, that is more... And honestly, even the raindrops is more than what the Lina has right now in terms of survivability. Red Panda's playing a phenomenal game, though.
First pick Phoenix, and I definitely would say that they've kind of addressed it too, right? Like Gyro, Lina, Snapfire, but this is kind of the power of the Phoenix that if you are able to prioritize your own game a little bit, once you get levels and some gold, that Sun Ray is kind of a better ability than your Supernova.
Yeah, especially now, right? Now that it has the mischance component as well. I mean, against a gyrocopter, you're not just reducing one hero from taking damage. The flak cannon is going to reduce a huge amount with all the mischance coming through.
And we'll see if it's like, is it really going to be enough of a mischance, like a high enough percentage for Ukyo to consider about an MKB? So
I mean, you're against a Terrorblade, possibly. You might just be considering that anyway. They'll be able to yoink away another Wisdom Rune, it seems. There's scanning just to make sure that no one's in there. I mean, I'm sure they would actually have been happy if someone was in that sort of area. They want to find a pick-off. They want to open up the map so they could potentially take this tower. And look at that. It's Red Panda that ends up getting it for himself again.
Damn. They're going to smoke, but they're going to be a little bit too late. So yes, the Gyrocopter's been able to find farm, but all the other supports along with the cores are continuing to trail further and further behind.
Go on the Flame Cloak, it seems, on Butterfly Effect. So I don't hate it, as long as he's just like playing in the tree line and just playing the waiting game, basically. He's even got a Psychic Headband to be able to play around with. He just needs to be so patient in a lot of these fights. He needs both the Storm and the Riki to reveal themselves before he shows up at all.
Red Panda would be a nice pick. Butterfly Effect's going to reveal their positioning, though. Won't be able to catch up with the wave. They will get themselves set up for Roche. It is going to spawn down bottom, though. So this Observe Ward's not really going to pay off if they want to wait. But Aster.Aries feels strong enough to take the fight. Ukyo's going to position himself on the front. It's an early use of the BKB, and they're just going to retreat. Wait out the duration and look to go back in pretty shortly. What's the call from iG.V? You're down a big item. A core down's going to be used defensive, but again, the arena is off the mark and a disaster. There's nothing they can do now with everything used ineffectively. It's just another poor fight from the boys on iG.Vitality. There's the Mars with a fourth member sent into the grave. Butterfly Effect will survive, and they're going to call it. And it's just been all Aster.Aries from start to finish. An incredible game from them.
It has, and it's showing the difference between Div 1 and